Hey, what's been going on, everyone? Matthew from TheRightTrader.com here, back today with another daily crypto update. As per usual, I'm going to be going over Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Ripple, Neo, Vertcoin, Monero, OmiseGo, and Lisk. And just for today, I'm also going to be adding in, at the beginning of the technical analysis, Storj. So we'll get into all the technical analysis on all of those in just a second. As per usual, go check out Coinbase if you haven't purchased cryptocurrencies yet. They're not a sponsor. I just use them myself, and I have a link in the description. You can get $10 free when you sign up. So go check them out. Otherwise, I just wanted to thank you all for, the amazing support that I've gotten recently, especially on my latest daily crypto update, where you all were able to get me to almost 200 likes, which is just amazing, and it really keeps me motivated to keep on making these videos on an everyday basis. So I want to see if we can beat that record and really blast through 200 likes on this video, and I'm sure you guys can do it. And truly thank you for the amazing support. It really does keep me motivated to keep on making these videos for all of you. So a lot is going on today in the crypto market after Bitcoin broke above 7,000 and is holding above it currently. So I'm going to get into that and what that kind of means for the market. Now, as far as the altcoin goes, and by the way, that I did predict the Bitcoin 7K, so my predictions have been on point. I also said that, a lot of money was likely to pour out of the altcoins, and that is what happened. Now, there is a little bit of a silver lining in the fact that some of the altcoins are bouncing already. Litecoin was looking pretty ugly yesterday, but did in fact bounce a bit in the past few hours, so that's good to see. Ethereum bouncing slightly as well. So, there is still a lot of red in the altcoins, and some of them are really taking a hit and getting a big pullback. Vertcoin is one of them, Litecoin as well. So some of the altcoins that got, a really big price increase recently are taking a bit of a hit here and getting a pretty big pullback. But, it's not a bad, as you can see, Litecoin down 33%. It's not really a bad thing. Now, I understand that it can be a bit scary, when you see these altcoins, and if you're holding them, come crashing down the prices, it can definitely be a bit worrisome. But you have to understand why that's happening, right? And it's because everybody is focused on Bitcoin. Everybody is putting their money in Bitcoin because there's the upcoming fork, right? Which is going to be in about 2 weeks, so around November 16th. And after the fork, you get basically free money. So people are obviously wanting to, benefit from Bitcoin's, for one, price increase and the fork. So that's where all the money is going. And it's coming mostly out of the altcoins, right? Now, as you can see, as Bitcoin actually put in a high of around 7,400, I think, somewhere around that. So it did drop a little bit from there, and some money has been coming into stuff like Litecoin from, not only going out of Bitcoin and back into Litecoin, but also it seems some people may be preparing for a bit of an altcoin bounce. That, should come in the future. I think it's pretty certain that they will bounce. It's just a matter of when, right? It might be after the fork, unfortunately. So we'll see how well they can, withhold this drama right now. But I think it's not looking too bad, actually. And let me know. I'm going to get into my Storj technical analysis and, on all the other coins as well in just a second. But let me know if you want me to cover the big losers of the day, because that's something that I don't really do. I usually just focus on the top gainers. So, if you want me to do stuff like Vertcoin and Litecoin, the cryptocurrencies that are really taking a hit, as well as the ones that are doing really well, let me know. I can definitely add that. But I try to keep these videos, as short as possible while still covering everything that happened in the market, right? So let's get into Storj really quickly, what's been going on here. And let me just refresh this, make sure the price is up to date. So Storj did actually break out. It's not a cryptocurrency that I really talked about all that much, but I might be making a price prediction on it now that it's getting more attention. And, it's been getting more and more eyes on it for a while now. And it finally got a bit of a breakout. But a couple of things that I want to mention. As of right now, you can see it's kind of at a double top here because it's struggling a little bit to, nicely be above the candlestick right over here. So around the 60-cent range, I'd like to really see it get a nice breakout above this sort of a resistance area that's in this $60, on the $60 mark, 60-cent mark, sorry about that. And that's something that I definitely want to see. Now, will we see that? You can never really know those things, but right now it's looking possible. It's definitely struggling in that area a bit, though. With that being said, it is looking pretty good overall, Now, let me just draw some horizontal support lines so you can get a better understanding of what's going on here. Now, like I said, we have this first level of concern where we really want to see if we can get above that, because if it fails to go above that, that'll just be a double top in the short term, and we might see it fall back down. But right now, the indicators are looking pretty good. So it definitely looks like we could see a bigger price increase. After this 60-cent area, there's obviously going to be, the high of today, which is currently at 76 cents. So that's definitely going to be an important area, which is right over here, and it's also in line with the top of these two candlesticks. But more importantly, if we get another update, we could probably break above that pretty quickly. 84-cent area is definitely going to be a resistance level. I'm just going to be looking more towards, these much bigger resistance levels, which is going to be that around $1 mark over there, and then could probably go up pretty quickly to, much higher levels, namely this $1.78 level. So basically, we'll just have to see if we can get the strength today to really break and hold above the 60-cent mark. If it does, then it'll be looking pretty good for, an increase in the future. But it is getting some traction here. That's definitely something to pay attention to. Did also make a, let's see, let me just draw this really quickly. Did actually make in the short term, a higher low and higher highs, with this high being lower than the high of today, right? So that's a good sign as well. And otherwise, I'm not going to focus too much on this. Just wanted to give you a little update on, the biggest gainer today. I mean, one of the biggest gainers today. Now, let's move over and get into our usual schedule, starting off with Bitcoin. Bitcoin, of course, broke out high of 7,445. So that's just amazing to see. And, this really further cements the fact that we might see it move towards 10,000, which I obviously, that wasn't my price prediction video for Bitcoin. If you're interested in watching that, you can check out my price predictions playlist. I always have a link to that in the description, in the comments below. Check out my Bitcoin one if you want to. But yeah, I think, as soon as you hit those sort of 7,000, 7,500 levels, it becomes pretty likely that you're going to see 10,000. And it's just going to be a matter of time from here on out. But the high was 7,445, so that'll obviously be the next sort of resistance levels to look forward to. Now, one thing that I do want to mention, and I talked about this yesterday, is we're fully trading above the upper Bollinger Band, right? Which isn't the best sign, because it's a hard level to hold above. Now, of course, right now there's a lot of money flowing into Bitcoin and everything, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a pullback here before the fork. And if you look over here, right, we managed to get 2 days above the upper Bollinger Band, but then fell back down, got a bit of a pullback near the middle band, which is this brown line over here. And I could definitely see something like that happening in the near future. Now, till where will we pull back? That's hard to say right now. We'll just have to see how it holds. But I think a pullback is likely, right? It's very hard to sustain multiple days above the Bollinger Band like this. And you can just look back to previous days where it was really peaking above the Bollinger Band, and it usually doesn't last very long. It usually comes back and tests the middle band. So that would just be a healthy price action before the fork happens to get a bit of a pullback, right? And so just to recap, I did speak a lot there, but basically I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin get a bit of a pullback here in the next couple of days after, getting such a nice breakout and trading above the Bollinger Bands. We might also see, linked to that, a bounce in the altcoins, obviously. If those start taking off, money will come back into the altcoins temporarily at least. So let's move over to Ethereum. Took a bit of a hit here. And I've also been quite accurate with my Ethereum predictions. Like you can see, I drew a bunch on this chart. And I'm sorry if it's a bit messy and confusing, but basically what we're trading in right now is this inner triangle right over here, okay? And of course, with the weakness that there was in the altcoin markets and the money coming out of them, Ethereum did take a hit. It wasn't able to hold its support level of around 294, let's call it 295. So it dipped back and hit this uptrend line, right, for the first time in a while, which, it's good. It bounced nicely off that, but it's definitely, it can be a bit concerning, because obviously we do want to see it hold above this uptrend line. As soon as it breaks below that, we're going to be looking at much lower support levels, right? Maybe 250, even this lower level of 223, which is obviously not something that we'd like to see in the cryptocurrency market happen, but it is possible if we break below this uptrend line. Now, for now, it's holding it fine, and we'll just have to see. It'll probably bounce in this inner triangle now for a while, but there is still going to be some shakiness in the altcoins market until the Bitcoin fork is over. That's pretty much guaranteed at this point. MACD is pulling down, which is going to be a bearish sign, right? We broke under the RSI uptrend line, which is also a bearish sign. So unfortunately, the shakiness is really coming through on the chart. But like, as you can see, it did bounce off the uptrend line, and it has a nice lower wick that's pretty big. So buyers did actually come in and buy up that level, which is just something that we do need to notice, right? And like I said, it's just going to be a bit of consolidation and really seeing if it can hold here for the next couple of days. So not that much to say. Moving over to Litecoin, let's see what's been going on here. Okay, so Litecoin bounced off the downtrend line over here pretty nicely, but overall, right, it's not looking great for Litecoin because it did actually break below this uptrend line. Sorry, yeah, the uptrend line a couple days ago, right, with the weakness in the altcoin market. So it took a bit of a tumble. Now it seems to be holding. Let's see, the low that it put in today was $50, which makes sense, bounced off $50 pretty nicely. And what's good to see though is it got a nice pullback and it's actually green right now. So what that tells me is people are supporting this level pretty well. It's not like it collapsed completely. And hopefully it can sort of stay around at least this lower $50 area for the next couple of days. Because I would get a bit worried, if it starts collapsing into the $40 area. That would damage the chart pretty significantly, right? But like I said, that is possible considering the weakness in the altcoin market. It's just going to be a matter of waiting and seeing if it can really hold. Otherwise, we'll see if it can break, the high of today, which might be a bit hard right now, but it's 54.85, and just a lot of resistance here, on the upper part. Just considering this downtrend line over here, it's probably going to take a while for Litecoin to stabilize a bit and get some, set up to be in a position where it can rise back again. Same thing with, probably a lot of the altcoins like Ethereum and everything. Let's move over now to Ripple. Ripple acting very weak in the past couple of days, so I'm interested to see what's been going on here. And today, pretty strong doji candlestick. Actually, people supported up the lows here and bought up the price, so big lower wick. And what exactly does this mean? What's going on here? Well, it definitely put in a bit of a lower low in the short term. Like I said, I expected it to come down towards the $17/$16 area. Could definitely see it still go lower than that. Now, this candlestick is obviously a bullish candlestick, and there is some room to, go back up now. But it's we're just gonna have to see, if tomorrow we might get a bounce, right, break above the high. But now we're gonna have this middle band, right, this brown line, which is at 21 cents right now. That's gonna be a very strong resistance level in my opinion, and it's probably gonna struggle quite a bit to get above that. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a bit of a short-term bounce. It hit this brown line and then, keep going on its downtrend and just consolidate a bit, or even fall further down to the 16-cent area. Indicators not looking good right here. MACD really pulling back down, so that initial crossover at least is not going to happen, and RSI kind of flat right now. So a bit of a good sign on the candlestick part. I think we might get a bit of a short-term bounce, but otherwise still not strong enough for Ripple to really get some kind of reversal. Now let's move over to NEO, and a lot has been going on with NEO actually, so let's see what's been happening here. NEO, okay, so like I said, NEO did actually manage to peak above the downtrend line. It wasn't able to hold, unfortunately, with the altcoin weakness, and it's now in this inner triangle. It's still holding inside of it, but we're really coming towards the end of the symmetrical triangle right over here that I drew, and we're just going to have to see, is it going to crash below? It did actually dip below today. So we're just going to have to see if NEO is going to crash below this uptrend line over here. It did dip under it today. It was able to get bought up and re-enter the symmetrical triangle. Now, we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, the indicators are not looking good here. The RSI is really pulling down pretty heavily. MACD moving downwards as well. And since we're coming toward the end of this pattern, we'll just have to see if it can break above it. But the altcoin weakness is most likely going to push this over the edge, and we'll probably be trading above it in the next couple of days, unfortunately. Now it does have some good support over here near the, let's see, $20 mark. So I'm pretty hopeful that it can stay above that, which will be a decent sign at least. And that's sort of where I expect it to probably move to, considering what's been going on for all the altcoins out there. Let's move over now to Monero. Let's see what's been going on with that one. Very range bound. And sorry, actually, we're going to move over to Vertcoin. I'm keeping the same schedule here. And let's see what's been going on with Vertcoin. So like I said, Vertcoin did actually take a bit of a hit today and a bit of a pullback, which I actually did predict. You know, I said that we got a bit of a rounded top over here, and we're probably going to see a bit of a pullback in the short term. Now, one thing is, let's see, we're actually back under $4, which isn't the best thing, but obviously, you know, such a massive price increase. I think it wants to come and test this brown line here, and we'll probably get a nice bounce off that. But the brown line is currently at $3.16, so it might align perfectly with this support level right over here, which is around $3.30, and we might see Vertcoin get some, get a bounce there, and that's really where going to be the new support level for the medium term will be put in, right? So $3.30, and yes, that would mean that it would drop a bit more here in the upcoming days. Now, is this worrisome for the future? Not at all. You know, it's just that it had such a big price increase, like I say, that it has to come back and get a pullback, right? That's only healthy, especially with the weakness in the altcoin market. It just took a hit here, and, you know, now the MACD is pulling back down completely. Same thing on the histogram. RSI now more or less downtrending and broke out of the uptrend pattern. So, you know, likely to see pullback towards this $3.30 level. There's a lot of support here, as you can see, just with the previous candlesticks over here. And then we might just get some consolidation for a while. Like I said, could take a couple weeks where we really just bounce in maybe between $4 and $3.30. Could move a bit higher, but in between this pink line over here, which is the support level in the short term, and this $3.30 resistance level is the pink line, and the support level is this red line at $3.30. So basically some consolidation and pullback ahead for Vertcoin, which was bound to happen after such a big price increase. Let's move over to Monero, like I said. So Monero, very range bound in the past couple days, and we'll see how it's acting now. Still quite range bound. Now what's interesting is it did dip below here. It actually dipped below its more or less its support levels, which is interesting to see, and it's now 3 days in a row has been red and actually making more or less lower lows and lower highs. So this could be a sign that we might drop towards the downside here for Monero. And how low could we go? You know, there's not that much support, so I wouldn't be surprised to see this dip back to $60 here with the weakness in the altcoin market. I did say in previous videos that I thought that this was going to be a sort of a good consolidation where maybe it can move up after this, but of course I said that we had to wait and see, and now it's looking like there's going to be some weakness in Monero, especially with the upcoming Bitcoin fork. It's pretty likely now that this really just takes a tumble, and you know, I'd be pretty confident to say that it will come back and recover, you know, after a couple weeks. But I think this Bitcoin fork will push Monero off the cliff as well here, unfortunately. So definitely not the best time to be in the altcoin market, but potentially, you know, a buying opportunity, because these are all taking a pretty big hit here, and you have to think, at what point is it a good buying opportunity, you know, after a drop like this in the altcoins. OmiseGo got a bit of a bounce today, which is interesting to see. You know, I've been pretty bearish on OmiseGo after it really cracked below this uptrend line and started dropping. Now it's good to see that it got a bounce off the low of $5.37. So let's see, right over here, which, you know, there's definitely some support over there. Now we'll see if this one holds. You know, this might be a temporary bounce, actually up nicely today, above 6% here. So that's good to see. Obviously, it's going to be facing a lot of resistance at this brown line, the middle band, currently at $7.45. That's going to be a pretty big resistance level over there. Now, nice bounce off the RSI, almost hit 30 and bounced nicely. But for now, it's still, the chart is damaged here for OmiseGo. So I think at best here, we're going to see some consolidation, which would be pretty good for OmiseGo. Could obviously drop lower towards, you know, $4.56. I've mentioned that before. But for now, though, it did get a bounce, so some consolidation is expected, right? Unfortunately, though, I think there's going to be too much resistance to really get back above to where it was in the short term, at least. And finally, our last cryptocurrency of our daily crypto update, Lisk. This one actually took a hit yesterday, so let's see what's been going on here. Okay, further downside for Lisk, unfortunately, and like I said, this is like OmiseGo, where it cracked below this uptrend line, so obviously it's going to take a bit of a hit, and that's what happened today, moving further to the downside and making lower lows, lower highs. Now, we do officially have a bit of a new downtrend pattern coming into play here, which is going to be this right here if we want to take it up to the top of the candlesticks, or we can make it a bit more strict and even kind of make it like this. So this is going to be yet another resistance level that Lisk is going to struggle with now in the future. The chart is definitely damaged here. And where is this going to head, in the next couple of days? Well, the low of today was, let's see, $3.62. So let me just mark that in actually in a bit of a clearer way on a horizontal line for this. Let's see. Why didn't this put on? Okay, there we go. So that's the low that it put in. This gives it quite a bit of room to consolidate here, but we're going to have this downtrend line that's going to put pressure on it, and it's going to make it pretty ugly for Lisk to really manage to make something happen here. All the indicators are obviously pretty damaged here, not looking good, moving towards the downside. Now, will it dip lower than this $3.60 level is the real question right now, and it's hard to say. This is obviously a pretty big dip. Now, it would be pretty bad, if it really moves lower than that, which is definitely possible. It's going to send it, down to like $2.70, which arguably would be a really nice buying opportunity for Lisk, and that's definitely possible now. So let me just put that in right here so y'all can see if we get more downside and break below this low over here that we put in today. The next sort of big support area is going to be around $2 and let's see how much that is. My computer is lagging out here. $2.76. So we'll just have to wait and see. Obviously, got a really nice bounce off $3.60, and I do kind of expect it to hold here. So we'll just have to see when it comes near this blue line over here. Will it be able to break above that and sort of stay consolidated above $3.60, or will it in fact drop lower than that? That's going to be what we have to pay attention to in the future. And otherwise, thank you all for the great support. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like and subscribe. But with that being said, everyone, this is the end of this daily crypto update. Thank you for watching and have a great day.